Hello, everyone, and welcome to CallTower TV. I'm Marsha Kagan, CX Marketing Manager at CallTower, and I'll be moderating today's discussion. We're excited to have you join us on our Fireside Chat focused on AI in the contact center. And today's conversation is going to be focused on shared experiences, what we see works, what doesn't, and how teams can move past the hype and focus on real outcomes. I'm joined today by members of our CallTower CX team, each bringing their unique perspectives across architecture, product, and development. First, we have Tim Bushell. Tim is our Solution Architect Manager. Next, we have Alain LeBrasseur, our Product Owner for CCaaS, CX, and AI. And finally, Leandre Guertin, our Conversational AI Developer. Welcome, team.
Hi, Marsha.
Hi, Marsha.
Hey.
So, before we dive into the topic, do you mind sharing how many years experience you have in the contact center and what your primary focus is in your roles today? Tim?
I have, over 15 years of experience working directly in a contact center. So by the time I pair that up with my time here at CallTower, it's a little bit over 20 years now. My previous experience included working with a contact center environment, always in the scope of technology, and finished out the position there as the director of IT for a local contact center environment before joining the CallTower and Aurea team. And since then, I've been working in projects and architecture, pre-sales orientations, and high-level projects.
Awesome. Thanks, Tim. Alain?
Hi, I'm Alain LeBrasseur, Product Owner at CallTower for CCaaS, CX, and AI solutions. I have over 30 years of industry experience spanning IT support, system integration, consulting, business analysis, and product development. And since 2025, I have served as Product Owner at CallTower, where I define product strategy. I also manage vendor partnerships, enable internal teams, and drive a measurable customer and business value.
Thank you. Leandre?
Hi, I'm Leandre Guertin, and I have about 5 years of experience at CallTower. So my role is a conversational AI developer, but it's not just the developer part. I actually assist customers from beginning to the end of projects for conversational AI. There's no actual end, but that's another topic for a different day. So I start with gathering business requirements, helping with design, doing the actual development, and also adding to testing, production deployment, and also assisting with post-production analysis. And that's about it.
Great, thank you. That experience is exactly why we wanted this conversation to be grounded in reality and not only in theory. So let's dive into the heart of today's topic. There's no shortage of studies with different numbers, but they tend to revolve around the 90 to 95%, all pointing to the same reality that most Gen AI proof of concepts don't stick. So my question to you is, why do you think that is in the contact center? And is that number actually a bad thing?
I'd love to weigh in here. At a high level, I first like to look at that and go, it is a very high number, which is definitely going to generate a lot of, oh my gosh, what's going on in this space? But for a certain amount, I'd also like to share the importance of the idea that it's not necessarily, like, in my viewpoint, while it is high, it can be a representation of many different things. Some of the information that I've been looking at, consuming, and even moving through, and based on some of the projects that we've been involved with directly, it looks like there's a generalization of themes that come through with this. Sometimes it is the business isn't fully ready to adopt AI initiatives in this manner. And this is a lot of the reasons why we like to work with our customers in the pre-sales arena to seek to understand and really clarify what it is that we're looking to do as objective goals throughout these type of products and solutions. It's easy enough for someone to just go window shopping these days and say, I need AI. Everyone everywhere is telling me that we need AI, and I feel like I'm late to the game. So it doesn't matter what it is. AI can do everything. Just get me set up and running with some AI. So a lot of times when we work through those kind of dynamics, I really start to look for, hey, what is the business challenges that we're trying to solve here? What is the criteria? How would we really position this for success with you and your organization? When we struggle to deliver on some of that, then it can become really easy for someone to come in with a missing expectation and say, well, it didn't do what I wanted to as well. And so the core thing that I really like to look through in this or move towards is there's another area as well with AI and some of its capabilities and the way that it delivers workflows, moving and iterating so rapidly through the space. Sometimes we don't have enough documentation pools available to us with the tools or the direct experience to say we have delivered this exact use case before. So most times when I identify something like this in a pre-sales engagement and discussions with customer teams, I do like to guide and move towards a recommendation of, hey, why don't we, I know we can do A, B, and C of this, but I'm concerned about D, E, and F. So why don't we look at setting up a proof of concept and doing a confirmation that we can deliver for D, E, and F as part of our sales journey that we take together with the customer.
Right. Yeah, because the 95% is a scary number. And I wonder if that number would be more positive if they were more prepared for AI proof of concepts, or are this is the number of people just trying at it and then exiting when it doesn't exactly fit what they envisioned. So yeah.
So
Thanks.
it's very accurate, Marsha. Like there's some of the areas, and I know we were talking about this before we even launched into our fireside discussion here, but some of the most complex use cases are where a customer is looking for a very rigid very rigid manner of delivery when they're also looking to adopt to an agentic AI experience. In some ways, I liken it to the same behavior as through leadership. If you look back through leadership and management leadership cycles, where once upon a time it was a boss versus a manager or a leader, where they're saying a boss has more of this tendency to dictate what it is the employee does, versus commonly within a leadership cycle, they will say a leader empowers the employees and gives them criteria and frameworks to work within. So I do see a lot of similarities between like the RBA rules-based automation of AI and agentic as kind of having that fundamental paradigm shift between how they are delivered as well.
Thanks, Tim. So let's flip the narrative. What does a successful proof of concept actually look like to you? Anna?
Thanks, Marsha. So before answering that, I think it's important to start by defining what is a proof of concept. So it's basically a small time box exercise and mechanism used to validate that an idea or the solution that you have can work and can be also delivered and deliver the value before committing to a full implementation. So it's important to test that little piece before scaling. The goal is to provide viability, technology to be used. So this is what we're going to be testing here. So it's not production ready. It's built to reduce uncertainties and also risk early. So we need to define that before going to a full-scale deployment. You have to be careful. So it's not to be confused with a pilot, which assumes the technology is already proven and focuses on adoption, process fit, and also measurable impact.
And yeah, just like Alain said, I'd like to add, so a POC is kind of like a tailored demo to your business needs. And to define a successful POC, well, you have to define each of your criteria that you would need in your solution. And each of those criteria, you can define them as what are nice to have, what are it's okay, doesn't matter if it doesn't work, what's needed, what's critical, and so on. And at the end of a POC, you should be able to say, well, this solution works for us, or it just doesn't fit our use case.
Leon, can you give me some examples of what success metrics look like?
Sure. Some examples could be, is the platform able to integrate with your backend APIs? Are you able to use are you able to integrate with third-party platforms? Are you able to implement strict design requirements? For example, if you need specific promptings for some reason, because, well, legality reasons sometimes. Are you able to abide by your business processes? So can you do automated testing? Can you do A/B testing? Are you able to have multiple environments in the platform? Are you able to have multiple versions for your deployments, and so on? And how's the analytics platform with the tool? That might be even the most important part, because if you don't have any analytics, you don't know how to improve. So are you able to use the current dashboards that's in the platform? Do you need to create custom dashboards? Are you able to pull all the data to your data warehouse? These could be all types of success criteria, I would say.
And what about timeline when it comes to preparing for a proof of concept?
I think the timeline is also very important when you define and prepare for a proof of concept. So it keeps the proof of concept or the POC as a validation, not as a project. It maintains momentum and stakeholder engagement, quite important. It enables faster business decisions. It also controls cost, effort, and risk. And at the end, it forces clear scope and success criteria that we just mentioned earlier.
Right. So I'm thinking to even earlier stages. What is the biggest challenge that sets up proof of concepts up for failure before they even start?
Yeah, that's a good question. For me, the biggest challenge is the fact that thinking a technology can solve every problem and losing sight that these solutions require a blend of people,
Right.
process, and technology. Thinking technology alone will solve the problem is risky because it automates existing behavior and processes. And without the right people and workflows in place, even the best solutions fail to deliver real value.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail right on the head with that one, Alain. I've seen that before as well. I commonly look at it as trying to do too much is also one of those challenge points for a customer.
Yeah.
Especially when we are using the terminology of a proof of concept, it's hard, when we're in these projects, not to have them evolve into a pilot or, oh, now that we've done this, this becomes my eventual production platform and I just run everything from it from here. Scope creep can be a common challenge within a proof of concept.
Yeah, just to go back and answer your question. So the biggest challenge for customers before starting a POC, I would say sometimes they just don't know what they're getting into. And we mostly hear that, like with AI, everything goes fast, it's quick and easy. You just click here, click there, and it's integrated. But that's not actually the case. And that sometimes lead to trying to cut corners on your project. And cutting corners usually doesn't end up in a successful POC. I'd say when you try to explain that even for a POC, you need to go through all of the steps of the life cycle. So doing discovery, design, development, deployment, and drive sometimes can be a bit scary. And yeah, so
Right.
Sorry, go ahead.
So it's like you guys mentioned in the beginning, people treat these proof of concepts as pilot projects when there's so much more work that needs to be done before even entering the pilot project stage.
Correct.
Okay, so to wrap things up, I'd like to ask each one of you a final question. So what advice would you give to organizations that are starting their AI journey in the contact center, and what should they focus on early on to avoid being part of that 95% statistic?
Yeah, well, like I just mentioned, I'd say just don't cut any corners in your POC. It's the key to success. It's an important part of your technology and a good investment that you'll make in the future. So might as well do things right from the start. If you do it right now, I believe everyone's going to do it right a bit later. So again, I'll mention it. Key to success is doing a good discovery, good design, then move on to development, deployment, and drive. Don't cut any of those corners. They are crucial.
For myself, I would just really like to stress the importance of understanding what you want AI in your contact center or telephony space to do, and what is the business challenge that we're truly trying to solve here as part of what it is doing and how you're applying it. The more I try and orient a customer around the idea of this is not a silver bullet and it's not a one-hit wonder. It is going to require some operational maintenance, ongoing tuning and optimization, etc. The more I feel they are set up for success. One of the biggest challenges that I commonly dealt with in in the IT space for a contact center is a business operations group thinking we just set it and forget it and let it do its thing. Most systems need ongoing optimization and monitoring and tuning.
And to finish things up, actually, I have a few advices. So, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but I think they're really important to fully understand what companies are getting into. So we need to start with a business problem, not with AI. Start small, try as much as possible to time box it. Begin with a narrow use case, prove feasibility before scaling. And I mentioned that many times during our conversation today. Align people, process, and technology early. You must involve the stakeholders early in the proof of concept. Set clear objectives and measurable success criteria. And lastly, expect imperfection. AI is not perfect and learn from it. Test failure path, not just the happy path. And it's a gradual expansion to new use cases. Again, start small and scale over time.
So what I gathered, Leon, no cutting corners, prepare for AI. Tim, and I see that all the time. People are like, wow, there's AI. Like, I'm so, like, tell me what it could do for me. And obviously, like, the possibilities are just too grand and you get lost in it. So identify the problem that you want AI to solve for you and prepare for ongoing support and evolve your AI. And Alain, what I take from you is set clear expectations, start small, and then scale, but start somewhere and start well. Align your people, processes, clear objectives, and communication. I think that just AI is not perfect and it evolves as we've seen. Like AI has changed from just a year ago to where it is today. So I could just imagine with our help where it's going to be in a year from now and years to come. So thank you all for your great insights. I think it's pretty obvious that AI has enormous potential in the contact center. It's already here, but it depends far more on its people, process, and expectations than on the technology alone. So thank you for today's conversation. Thank you for everybody that joined us on CallTower TV. We look forward to having you on our next Fireside Chat. And if you have any questions or would like to reach out to us, don't hesitate at sales@calltower.com. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.